What a normal thing to say.
Oh, that's right. It's that Thursday feeling. Everything's going right in our lives. What about you? There at home? Listen to the BGB's podcast. This is episode 55. One of your hosts, John Warren. Thank you so much to my forever host, Niki Grayson, for filling in for me last week while I was in hospital.
You're welcome. I'm
And
glad
also
you're
the
out of
clerks.
hospital.
Me too. I'm glad I'm out of hospital as well. It wasn't fun to be in it, and even though I liked my care team, I'm happy to not be with them anymore. Yeah, things are getting better, and Kate, well wishes are definitely appreciated. Haven't talked on the show since I had the surgery, but it went well. I have extra metal bone in my leg, which is very exciting. Love extra bone. And insurance is a mess. So,
Great.
yeah.
I feel like you should just be able to walk in. My idea is that you walk into the doctor and then they do the procedure that you need and then you walk out.
And then, that's it. That's the end of the
And that's
transaction.
kind of it. It's like somebody else's problem because you did the
It'd be
trauma
fun.
of having your leg exploded.
Yeah, it'd be fun if it was like that. Too bad it's not, but it would be fun if it was like that. Yeah. Ooh, we have a fun little light show
that's
going on in my
good.
room. Oh, that's good.
That's awesome, dude. Now, what could that possibly be?
I don't know.
Now,
And
is that's an RGB bulb, no? Or is it
No.
just a regular bulb? Oh, it's just regular.
It's a regular bulb. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it's just regular passing away.
Maybe so. Although it's pretty fresh.
But the thing is,
it's
it's
flickering
it's flickering.
It's flickering in like a very Cyberpunk 2077 way of just kind of like it's like very cinematic and kind of annoying in a way that's not. It doesn't.
But it's
feel,
just
no.
the thing about here's the thing about LEDs though is that they don't behave. That like when they go out, that's not how they work.
That's
like
not how they work.
Regular
That's not how
light.
they work. Let's see if it'll do it after.
They just kind of turn off. So I guess it must not be getting all the power it needs, but it's a lamp.
Not. It's a lamp
that always has worked. That lamp has been in the corner of the screen
for a very long time.
Yeah.
Everything's working really
it's just
well.
Kind of like,
it's
yeah,
just kind of everything's
exactly
working.
Right. Everything works.
Like Todd Howard said, it just works.
It just works.
It just works. Yeah, no, I dodged a very important bullet where I had my very bad but expensive HMO that I was paying for from Obama's care. And then nope, it's gonna keep doing it. So I'm just gonna turn it off. There we go. It's gonna be dark in the room. It's a dark one, folks. And that was on May 27th. On June 1st, I knew I was gonna get new insurance through my new secret employer, and almost canceled it on the 27th. And then my accident was on the 30th. So
yeah.
What was actually cool about that is that having double insurance actually has helped me out a lot.
No,
but that's crazy.
I was double insured.
Crazy.
I was double insured for a minute when we were at Fanbite.
Yeah,
you hired me when I was a child.
Yes, you were on Cobra or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was huge for me. Being double insured is nice if you can get it.
If you can get it, it's pretty nice. It's pretty
because then it
nuts.
really is like.
It does kind of work like that. Yeah, yeah.
It really is like y'all figure it out. Like that ain't me.
We went from when we were doing all the surgery intake stuff, and I was just giving them my original insurance, and I hadn't even gotten a card for the new one, and I was like, whatever. And they were like, okay, well, when you get to the hospital, we expect you to pay $5,000 when you get here, and I'm like, what? And then I was like, well, what about this? wait a second.
Yeah.
What about this? And I just like gave them the information of the second one, not knowing if it would work. And they were just like, oh yeah, by the way, you're good.
You're Gucci. Great.
I'm like, cool.
That's
Great.
huge.
So silver linings, one of the only silver linings
That's what that
I've seen. About. Silver Linings Playbook was about the joy of being double insured.
Yes. That's why
Yeah, name one of the actors in that movie.
It's Jennifer Lawrence and
Man.
What is that guy's name? No, listen, we're gonna sit in it.
No, I know. We're gonna sit. I mean, I'm good. I mean, I know it, so I'll wait. Let me know if you want a hint.
It's not a Ryan.
It's not a Ryan.
I know that for sure. Bradley Cooper.
That's it. Good job. You got it. You got there. You just start peeling off the whites. It's not.
Yeah,
and then it's
that's
like,
that's what I had to do, and I got to where I needed to be.
It's not a Jason. It's not a Ryan. It's like, okay, it's a Bradley.
Is that Oscars the Ellen selfie Oscars?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. We're gonna sit in this as well.
Ellen selfie.
Oh, I remember that Oscars. Oh man,
that's 2014.
We were living in dark times, huh?
2014. 2014.
They've never ended.
Oscars. Okay. And
they've never ended.
I'm looking at the 86th annual Oscar Awards, Academy Awards. No, it was a different one.
Different one. Okay.
Silver Linings Playbook was 2012. It was 2 years after. The selfie was 2 years after the.
That's fair.
The thing. So
that's fair. Nikki, Ann and I ordered Indian food last night, and we ordered 2 little naan.
Yep.
It's like the saddest I've ever been to realize that we did that. Because what we did is that last time because we have not ordered food out since before the year. Because we have broken the DoorDash rule because of my foot. And I feel like that's okay.
Yeah. It's fine.
But we last time we did it, we ordered it around Christmas, and we ordered 8 orders of naan for 2 people.
Yeah.
And that was a cartoonishly absurd amount of naan to order.
Yeah.
But then we ordered 3 last night for the 2 of us. Much too little naan.
Yeah, so it's probably 5 is the sweet spot.
It's probably 5. Here's
what I would argue. That's a failure on the part of the restaurant.
You think they should see the order and go, no, wait a second? Like, what is AI for, right?
Exactly.
No, but seriously, like,
is that what Agent Force is? Is that all of the fake bullshit that happens to Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, where Matthew McConaughey has booked a restaurant in the rain, and then he says, well, if AI existed, then this wouldn't have happened to me. Motherfucker, what are you talking about? You sat out there.
And I think the best ones, like, I got voluntarily sat in the rain after I guess showed up and insisted that that's where my table was.
Where my table. What are you like?
That makes no sense. But then the one that actually low key made me angrier was the one where he was expecting to get indoor GPS to an airport gate.
Yes. What are you talking about?
What world do you live in?
It's a straight line. Like airports are not hard to. They aren't hard to navigate.
The signage could not be clearer.
No, they are designed for illiterate people. Literally. So AI is not going to fix it. But DoorDash AI probably could have been like,
hey,
this guy needs more naan. I think it's on behalf of the restaurant, because I'm sure that they put the stuff in the bag and they're like, well, now hold on. Now, wouldn't it have been nice for you if you were like, well, we only ordered 2 naan.
Right.
But they gave us 5.
That would have been nice.
Right?
That would have
because
been nice.
they knew that you had enough food for $5 naan.
Even if they had secretly charged me more for the extra
For
naan,
the
I would
naan,
have been
yeah,
okay.
you would have been like, "Thank you so much."
I honestly, I think you should be able to go into specific restaurants and say, check a box that says like create rules and say, if I fucked up, you're allowed to correct.
You're allowed to buffer add $7 worth of stuff if there's something that I forgot.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Like on Instacart, if they're like, "Hey, do you want like corn or do you want like special corn? Is that allowed if we give you special corn instead of regular corn?" Yeah, you should be able to do that.
The dumbest one of those happened to us this past week when we ordered groceries and we ordered an 18 count of eggs, and the Walmart person delivering it was like, "Oh, by the way, they're out of 18 eggs." And I sent them a message. I was like, "Okay, well, like, what other eggs they got?"
Yeah,
you know,
how many? What other numbers?
She goes
of
like,
eggs?
"Oh, I'm really sorry, but the way it's set up, if it's not 18,
no, that's not true.
I can't." And I'm like, "What? What?" I'm just like, "What are we talking about?"
Oh man,
that's bad.
Tough. Nothing
World's
is
bad.
good. Nothing is good.
World is a vampire. You know what else is not good?
World is a vampire.
You know what else is not good?
What?
State of Bungie. Feels like it's not great. Marathon being delayed indefinitely. No timetable set.
That's what you want.
We already got a soft delay from Helmet last week. Saying like, "Oh yeah, like can't wait till spring 2026." And everyone was like, "Dog, y'all said this game is going to be out in September. Do you know something we don't?"
Know that?
And then only a couple days later, Bungie did officially announce on the 17th that they have moved it out of the September 23rd release window and into the great unknown, with absolutely no sense of what it is. They say, and we'll discuss, but they say they're working on upping the survival game, which makes the AI encounters more interesting. Yes, I could certainly see that was probably a need there. More rewarding runs. Yeah, like everything needed to feel more fun. Combat more tense or strategic. Yep, can definitely see that. Doubling down on the Marathon universe, including increased visual fidelity. Not sure if you needed that. More narrative environmental storytelling and a darker tone. Listen, y'all didn't need a darker tone. You just didn't need to steal the art that you used to make the game.
Yeah, and that was kind of it. I also like, if you take one step even further back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are not having this conversation, and the conversation is, wow, there's a new video game from Bungie coming out in September. If it is not an extraction shooter that nobody is going to kill, like the game is foundationally sick. 5 months is not going to sell more copies of this video game.
No,
it will just be more expensive and give them more justification when they kill Bungie in June of 2026.
They made a bet on a genre of game that would be available to them and popular by the time the release date came out, and it was a bad bet. It was a really bad bet, and I think a lot of people could have told them it was a really bad bet. This game's not coming out. And I want to be kind and clear and whatever, but Marathon is not coming out. This game's not going to
You don't think?
No.
So, okay. I think
this team is going to get mostly rebuilt, rerouted into other Sony projects by the end of the year.
I think they have sunk cost fallacy about it, and they will put it out and turn it off again.
I think they would rather cut their losses and move along than have Concord happen again. I feel like Concord was like are you saying they can't have two of them in 2 years? I just think that was so profoundly embarrassing to do to that whole team, to say, okay, we know this is DOA, but put it out anyway, and let's see if there's a miracle, which was never going to happen. This miracle is also not coming. So
do you think
I just don't see the logic.
I'm trying to figure out when they kill it then.
I think they kill it before the end of the year. I think this is a really strategic message that they put out to essentially say, hey, we listened to all the surveys we got.
I'm
sure they did. Essentially, yes. I think it's like, okay, here are the notes that we got from you, and we're going to work on it. But it's the most like when you really get down to it, all they said is we read your feedback and we're not releasing the game anymore. That's what that update says.
That's true.
Like when you really boil it down, and I don't revel in this because it is again a storied AAA game developer that is facing enormous problems, mostly because it is thrown in with a large backer in Sony, and now not only does it not have its independence, it's lost its identity. So it just feels super DOA. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love this to be a cool, like, rags to riches. But, like, the problem is, I think to your point, No Man's Sky coming out and getting this rehabilitation for free, that's a fucking one-off. I don't know if another group gets that kind of runway.
It's also, like, so...
And the genre makes sense.
It's different,
too.
Right? Exactly.
It's so different.
There is always going to be a person who is going to say, "I would like to walk around in space for the rest of my life." You know,
100%.
like that. That person always exists.
And every 9 months, that person is me. Like I go back to that game and I'm excited about it. You know, so
and like that for a multiplayer shooter, that person doesn't exist because another one comes out. I mean, I don't know. They fucked up, obviously. It just feels so... I feel like this in a lot of realms of my life right now. It is way easier than many people make things to do things.
Yes.
Like so much easier. For the link to this, which is pulling a little bit out of my ass, but like, if you've watched the behavior of the Los Angeles Dodgers this week.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Which is like the Los Angeles Dodgers, a baseball team, are in the midst of kind of like...
It's a very
they're not
strange...
good this year.
Yeah,
which actually is more important, I think, to the rest of the story than it is otherwise, because I don't think that they're making decisions that they would not have made last calendar year, but those decisions are smoothed over when the city is united, like it was last year, mostly because we had the Kendrick album, and also because the team was so unbelievably good last year that any of the off the field stuff was kind of like, whatever. Shohei's going to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases. Like, go fuck yourself. It's the best baseball team that's ever been constructed. And this year they're not good. So, they're not bad, but they're not world beaters.
They're not
like
running away with
last,
it.
Like they were last year.
Yeah.
Which then invites more horse shit. So it started last week with Clayton Kershaw during the Pride game. He wrote a Bible verse on his fucking hat. And I'm pretty sure the verse is that man shall not lie with man, et cetera, or something, question mark.
It's not. I'll find it while you're talking.
Is it, I think, that only wear one kind of clothes? You can't wear only one kind of clothes? Is there a part in the Bible where Jesus is like, dude, hit a fat dinger? Maybe that's on me because I didn't read that part of the Bible where he talks about baseball.
So essentially it says it is actually, in a way, it's cornier and stupider than any of those things.
Great. Okay.
It is the part of Genesis where God is like, my fucking bad. I'm sorry I flooded the world. Here's a rainbow.
That's crazy.
And so Kershaw's basically saying, like, the rainbow has been co-opted. Remember, it's part of God's covenant to us to never fuck up our world again, and it's not this other thing. So essentially, it's like, I knew it wasn't as explicit, but I knew it was just about as
sideways.
Yeah.
In any case, so that was last week, and they did a pretty good job of putting that under the rug because again, the team is not very good, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
And then obviously the city is under siege by the federal government, and the Dodgers have said nothing. Basically, every single team that has playing actively right now has said something, except for the Dodgers, which is insane for multiple reasons, but I'll bullet point the major two, which is like, it is one of the most Hispanic fan bases in the entirety of baseball.
Unbelievably so, yes.
And then also, if you look at the history of Dodger Stadium, it is the destruction of an explicitly Mexican neighborhood in this city that they were like, fuck them. We'll just dig the big hole and we'll put the stadium here. So, like, it's violent in two ways. All of that happens. The Dodgers say nothing. Earlier in this week, again, they have a person do the anthem, which they do every single game for some reason because we're sick. And then she did it in Spanish, which the Dodgers were like, "Please don't do it in Spanish." And then she's like,
"There's a video. There's a video of her in the box before the game, being told you cannot sing the song in Spanish." And she basically goes like, "Okay," and then she fucking does it anyway.
Yeah, does it in Spanish.
Awesome.
Yep. And then her representation, it's a he said, she said, but if you're believing the Dodgers on this, I think you're stupid.
Stupid.
But it's a he said, she said, where she's saying that they were like, you're banned from the building, and also your representation will never, like the team that represents you will never have an artist appear at Dodger Stadium ever again. Which I 100% believe. And then the Dodgers are like, we never said that.
Yeah.
We would love to have her back, actually.
Yeah.
And then this morning, there were people on their way to work. And they were like, sure is a lot of vans going into Dodger Stadium at 8:45 in the morning. And then people looked closer and they're like, I think those are DHS and ICE vans. So their plan, the federal government's plan, was to use that as a staging location for raids that they were going to do further south in the area. There was a protest that sparked up immediately afterwards, which was delightful. And then the Dodgers put out this really mealy mouth thing that were like, ICE tried and we said no. Anyway, we have no other comment. Like, it was just like, I said this, we said no, and then no, like, and like there was nothing additional to that.
Yeah.
And then ICE was like, actually, we never tried. And it's like, gang, we're all here. We all can see the stuff that you're talking about.
We saw the LAPD escort you from the premises.
You out.
Like, we saw that.
So,
which, by the way, I will never claim to be as naive as the thing I'm about to say.
Sure.
But there is something very, like, I don't know, not beautiful, because it's still really ugly, but there's something very funny and weird about these two structures of local police and ICE being like, yeah, you can't quite, like, none of them are doing it for the right reasons, but it's always just kind of like, no, you can't, we can't, you can't do what you're doing.
No. And it's like, you're so close, baby girl. You're so close.
So close.
You're so close to understanding. You're really close to getting what's going on.
But they'll never get it. They're
never going to get it. And then the little sprinkle on top of this, the saison on this, is that they were like, okay, but we got to distract from all the stuff that we're doing. So Shohei, bro, you got 3 outs in you?
Yeah. Can you pitch?
You got like, I don't know, dude, like 25 pitches.
Yeah.
Like you're a middle, 25
like you're a middle reliever. Hey, can you close for us?
Yeah. Like, now you're gonna do the beginning of the game. It's the first inning, but you got 25 tosses in you. And he was like, I guess. You're paying me how much?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I can't say no.
You helped keep me out of federal prison, allegedly.
Allegedly. So all of this is to say, right? To bring it back, it is unbelievably. It would have been easier and engendered more praise and celebration if Sony was just like, hey, just go make you know what you've been making for 1 million fucking years? A really live service game that has really good first person shooters and also a live service game that people are increasingly giving less of a shit about. You know how you got there? You made a really good first-person shooter single-player experience with a pretty tight multiplayer experience also on the side. We have more money than Jesus Christ. We're Sony Computer Entertainment. We make camera. We have guys whose job it. We have so much money. We have guys whose job it is to make MP3 players. It's 2025.
It's 2025.
Do you know how much money you have to have that level of excess? We're fine.
Also, crucially, the series of games that y'all got on the map for,
is dead.
They're getting fucked up so bad by our biggest competitor, that it's essentially dead.
It's basically dead.
So people don't want it to be dead. What an interesting opportunity we could have here.
Interesting. It's almost like we could say the guys who made Halo made another Halo, and instead they said, listen,
nah.
The worst people on Twitch like Escape from Tarkov. Do you understand how many people watch Tarkov on Twitch? We should we build the whole game out of it.
It's fucking crazy to think about people like, a fucking, a label going out scouting, and someone's like, okay, what games should we make? I'm gonna go watch all these people on Twitch, and just like getting on any of those channels that play fucking Tarkov or anything like that, and going like, this is actually the way. I think
this is the way, and this is
the way forward.
This is wholly representative of the average person who walks into Target to go buy a video game.
Yep.
What are you saying?
Yeah. Goofy.
And then I need to link it back. The link here for the Dodgers bit of the story, right, is that it's like, it would be so much easier if they decided to take what is increasingly the popular stance of, hey, we think it sucks that this is happening.
We think it sucks that our neighbor's being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Extrajudiciously.
Like, we think it sucks. That's increasingly, that's the moderate opinion. So to not be able to do that and to instead say nothing or say things sideways digs the hole deeper, when the only you're like, I'm standing on level ground, but I wonder what would happen if I just went and bought a shovel and started digging. Like, what would happen if I did that? And then every single person in charge is dedicated to saying what's at the middle of the earth.
Dumb.
Stupid.
Dumb. It could be easier. I think you're right. I think it could all be easier.
It's just, it really isn't that hard. And Microsoft is in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
They're like, we've partnered with AMD, and they were like, we're making more Xboxes. No, you're not. You're making personal computers. Just say you're making PCs. Just say the next Xbox is going to be a Windows PC.
It's going to run Windows.
It's going to run Windows, and that's it. There's going to be like 8 of them. You're going to make one, and Asus is also going to make one, and Lenovo is also going to make one, and there's going to be a bunch of them, and some of them are going to be handheld. Just say it. It doesn't you've already gotten to the point where nobody's buying your fucking boxes anyway. You sell more video games on the PlayStation than PlayStation does. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's exhausting.
Everyone's trying to position themselves into some sort of moment where they will just kind of rule the roost, and that time is behind us. Like, it is. You're not living in that same era. You're in a very different era, and I think most of your consumers actually understand that much, much, much better than you do.
Yeah.
But the group that kind of lives outside the coil of this thing is, of course, Nintendo. I've spent a couple weeks with my Switch 2. I know y'all talked about the Switch 2 last week a bit. This thing is selling more units than God, outpacing PS4, all this amazing stuff. Which is, wow, good for them. Not a huge surprise. I should ask, are you surprised that they are outpacing these consoles in this kind of way?
I think if you told me beforehand, if you told me in the week after the Direct, when the tariffs happened, I would have said there's no shot But it was not because I didn't think that they would sell them. I didn't think that they could move that many units.
Right.
That was it. I didn't think that it was going to be a matter of supply, or sorry, a matter of demand. I thought it was going to be a matter of supply. Yes. So I thought they just physically weren't going to be able to have enough units to sell.
Sure.
But they very clearly figured it out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that was a very specific choice on their part to kind of make it seem like it was going to,
yes.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, okay, all right.
They
clearly had the supply.
So many here.
Yep.
They had more than I think people thought they did here, like way more.
And you were one of the only people who was, I think, consistently saying like these are just in fucking warehouses.
They were just here. Yes. But like I did not think that they had as many here as they very clearly do.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure on tomorrow, if you wanted to, it seems like they're dropping them weekly. Like it feels like if you wanted to go buy one and you don't have one, you could walk up to Best Buy tomorrow and you would probably be able to get one.
Within 7 days, you will have an opportunity to get this. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no, deeply not surprised. It's hard for the Wii U to get killed more. But it is staggering how bad they did on that one, though. Unbelievable how bad they fucked up. That it took them like 8 days a week to sell a quarter of the total number of that. That part is like, oh boy, did they fuck up? Like that would have killed anybody if it wasn't Nintendo and the one before that wasn't the Wii.
Was it Gangbusters? Right.
That would have been it.
Yeah. It almost feels like an aberration in more ways than one. Like yes. I don't have fond memories of the Wii U, and I think it was marketed terribly, and it was a misstep in terms of like what to do next. But it almost seems strange that it was
real,
actually that big of a disaster, and that real.
No, it doesn't.
It was a disaster. Yeah.
Yes. Like unmitigated, and I think the further, like to your point, the further we get from it, I think the more it is like, holy shit, they fucked up. They fucked up so bad.
Yeah. Very strange.
It would be like trading away, like kind of like really good integral roster pieces after winning the championship in the bubble, so you could get Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it would kind of be like that.
It would be like that. Well, you'll never have to worry about that again because the buses won't own the Lakers anymore.
God, thank fucking dude.
Thank God the Lakers are gonna get a cash injection that they
I am so happy these broke white people are out from the ownership position of the Los Angeles Lakers. I hear what you're saying. It's finally some fucking money. I hear what you're saying at home. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. The Lakers just sold for, I don't know. I can't read our basketball chat anymore, but I read a thing earlier that was like the total number is 6.2 billion.
Oh, I read 10.
And the team is worth 10 billion.
Oh, maybe that's
I think the purchase price was 6 billion. And it's worth 10 billion. Okay. But I think but I could be deeply wrong. But the Buss family, who is the family who bought the team and has owned it historically, through the 70s and 80s up to today, obviously not poor, but did a poor ownership group in the land of professional sports. Yes. They didn't do anything else other than own the Lakers, which is not good for money.
It's not It's also not normal in 2025 for that to be the case.
Sure. Because you spend so much.
Now, would I like to return to something like that? Maybe, where everyone's just actually singularly focused on the sports franchise that they own. That would be That would be
nice.
However,
that's not where we're at. So they sold the Buss family sold the Lakers to the guy that owns the Dodgers, the core chunk of the Dodgers, for $6 billion American dollars. So we'll finally have some money. I think we can probably get Luka Doncic this year.
Maybe so. Fingers crossed for you. I hope you can. So one of the interesting stories that came out this week, actually, the day we recorded, is that a lot of third-party developers are reporting much lower sales than expected on the Switch 2, with the notable exception of Cyberpunk 2077, which we will talk about later in the episode. Nikki, your hand is raised. Go ahead.
This is a non-story, John.
Okay.
Here's why. Here's
okay.
why.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
I agree, and I'm going to let you walk.
Okay.
These games are old.
Okay, that's all I want to talk about. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
It's like this was reported. It's reported as a big thing, but I want everyone to realize that, like, one, most people buy the Nintendo console to play
the Nintendo games.
Two, the Switch 1 was the worst place to play any multi-platform game in the world. Last generation.
It would have been better to have played a game on your cell phone.
That is, in many cases, not an exaggeration.
Resident Evil runs on the iPhone. It did not run on the Switch.
Minecraft runs better on your iPad than it does on the Nintendo Switch. Okay,
so like
straight up.
Yeah.
So that's the worst place to do that. Also, yes, most of the third-party games that were launched on Switch 2 day one were old. People had already played them. They're not waiting for a Switch 2 to come out to experience Hitman. They're just not.
The idea that, and again, it's a combination of no one is able to think about being not themselves. And then basing decisions that you make business wise off of that inability to imagine a guy. The idea that there is a person on this planet. When did Hitman come out?
Like World of Assassination or like Hitman?
Hitman 1 came out in 2016.
Correct.
The idea that there is a person on God's green earth who has seen Hitman and been like, there's no way for me to play it. Where am I going to go? Right. I've got to wait for the Nintendo machine to come out so I can play it. That person's not real. Yeah.
Those third-party games basically existed day one for the like unbelievably small sliver of purchasers of the Switch 2 who are only they're only Nintendo people.
Yes.
And they go, well, what else I got?
Yes. While I'm in the Best Buy.
While I'm in the Best Buy, while I'm looking at while I'm redeeming my Mario Kart World code, what else is on this thing? And then they go, and that sliver is a sliver of a sliver of a sliver. That's not going to make a dent in anyone's thing. Now, granted, it may spook some of these people into thinking about putting their newer stuff on the machine. And I want to say, yes, this thing is going to look worse than your PS5s or your high-end PCs or whatever. But, like, this is a decent piece of hardware. I think it's going to run a lot of current-gen stuff pretty well.
Yes, once new video games start to come out for it that people have not already played or been playing in some capacity for 9 years. Comes out.
Yeah.
Like, in the time between Cyberpunk 2077 came out the first time and when it came out on the Switch 2, the rest of lockdown happened. I moved to Providence, Rhode Island. I had 3 long-term committed relationships. And I moved back and then lived in 3 separate houses.
Yeah. I want to also say your life is more in flux than the average person.
No, everyone's is like that. That's everybody's.
You just described what was 20 years for me, which is condensed into about 4.5 for you. I just want to illustrate that.
It's like that for everybody.
We're on very different, where things happen for me very slowly. Very quickly. It would be cool if maybe we could average each other out. It would be nice. But no, to your point, though, it has been a while. I think it's like I
I feel, I guess, for these studios and for these publishers who are like, oh shit, here comes the money.
Yep.
The thing about this work though is that now you did it already.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep. There's a check that's gonna come every month from Hitman World of Assassination IO. Like I shouldn't have paid for Mind's Eye, but like you'll get there eventually to break even on those dev costs, and it will not take very long. It'll happen in 2 years probably.
Can you fucking? I can't now. God, it's so funny that you just brought up Mind's Eye because I'm having trouble thinking of the biggest gap between the quality of a developer / publisher's game that gets them to the point where they're able to pay for someone else's game.
Yeah.
And their first choice to do it is just about the worst one I can imagine.
Yeah, you can
like that
imagine.
Gulf, that
really
might
tough.
be unique for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can remember someone
ever
making like that kind of bad bet right away.
Tough. Yeah, because it's really rare that a dev turns into publisher afterwards.
And then when they do, you can usually kind of see their pedigree and their taste level and all this stuff in what they're publishing.
Yeah.
iOS says not us.
Not us.
We'll publish some slop. That's not going to make our money back. Anyway, you talked a lot about Mario Kart last week. We don't have to relitigate any of that stuff, but I just want to parrot and say I also don't think that game is very good. It's quite frankly, another one of these, and even the stuff that I think is interesting that they put in it is pretty half baked. We talked about how the music curation aspect is just not there, even though they have people presumably even in the same fucking building that they could go talk to about it, that they just didn't. This game is very odd. I don't know what kind of DLC structure they're going to have for it, but they're going to have to add some really interesting stuff for me to give a shit. I have tried to figure out more of the technique, the tech of it, and I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it either. Yeah.
And I think it's a combination of the game doesn't feel good enough to do it, and also it's hard to do, but not in a way that is satisfying. I'll fuck around with the mechanics of a video game if I think it will be tangibly better. But there's so much other horse shit because it's Mario Kart that you're not actually incentivized to do all the flipping and the rail grinding and the wall riding and the charge jumping, because you get to first place and then you get fucked by a blue shell anyway. So
I know this is really well trodden territory, but not necessarily by this podcast. But I genuinely have a hard time believing that the blue shell. I mean, this is such a fucking joke meme at this point, but really, genuinely, I cannot believe the blue shell mechanically as it has existed for this long. I really can't.
But it feels like
it's so obviously not fun and not designed to do really what I think they think it does. That I'm genuinely shocked that Nintendo has kept doing it.
It just feels like a staple. It's so iconic. It's
so weird, but it's
they feel obligated. But that's why
make it work differently. I don't know.
No, for sure. But I think that's why there are 9 different ways that you can have it not hit you now. For a long time, there was one way, and it was it was a frame perfect input
trick
that you had to do to get it to not hit you. And now there are so many ways to have it not affect you, and it affects you less than it used to.
It does.
It still feels bad.
Bad.
To your point, but I think that it is not as the knife that they're stabbing you with is maybe not as sharp as it used to be.
As it used to be, sure. Okay. I can see that. But what should have been the launch title for this game is Donkey Kong Bananza, which we did get a direct for this week, and boy, that game looks real good to me. I'm very excited to play it.
I'm excited.
It's not a huge surprise. I think a lot of people figured that there was something up with the little rock guy that was on.
I miss the rock guy.
I do miss the rock guy. You will
I
start
hope
with
there's
rock
a
guy
skin that keeps Pauline
that
as
keeps
rock
Pauline
guy.
as rock guy, but now rock guy
I don't want her talking
the whole time. Yeah.
no
Now we
fine.
know that
I don't mean
it's
that.
baby Pauline is the little creature that's going to be on your shoulder the whole time. She wants to get to the surface, become a singer. You're underground. You got to go way deep to basically get back to the surface. You're Donkey Kong, whatever. You can mess with his fur. You can mess with his clothes. I mean, it just looks like this big, beautiful, kind of pseudo open world, open area. You know, lots of really interesting places to go. Everything is underground, but it's this cool kind of, layered experience where you've got these skyboxes anyway, so it's not necessarily like you're always looking like you're in a cavern. Destructive environments look cool. They get even weirder than I expected them to be because you can now throw like sand, like wet sand onto each other
Yeah,
to
you can
build structures,
basically. Yeah.
which is really cool. So there's just a lot going on in this game. Nikki, what did you also think of what you saw
I'm
Bonanza?
amped about it. I think that something that I am legitimately curious about, again, because of I think this Mario game is further out than we think it is.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because I think, and not even from a is it done perspective, but I wonder if they are wrapping and they're like, all right, onto the shelf. It goes.
Yeah, because they're doing that. Very clearly they're doing that.
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because this one, it looks so deep and so mechanically complex, and it looks like it has a lot of ideas that I do wonder if they are going to say, okay, we're going to put this video game out, and then we do have to give it a lot of breathing room before we put out the game with Mario on it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I liked Donkey Kong 64 when I was a child because I was stupid.
It's a bad game.
It's a bad video game. I know. Yeah. And then otherwise, the only other Donkey Kong game I think I've ever put real time into is Donkey Konga, which is not related to this basically at all.
Perhaps controversially, I will say like the level design and music of the country games and Tropical Freeze, and those side scrollers like has for a very long time covered for the fact that I think the vibes and overall like ideology of that series are fucking stupid and like not very interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I at no point was I like clamoring to play a Donkey Kong game.
I know there are people that were, but it's like this is a like call it what you want. Maybe this kind of broad Mario-fication of Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, they've just done a reboot
They've just done a reboot, and they've made it feel more like Nintendo than Rare. Although it seems like they've also brought over a lot of the musical footprint that Rare made, which is really smart because that's something that they absolutely crushed. As well as like some things like Rambi and some of the little characters and side characters. Like, I think they did a great job, but aesthetically and vibes wise, I don't think Rare did something that I really gave a shit about. So the Mario-fication of Donkey Kong back into the fold, which is kind of what it feels like they did, is like recapturing the character and re-owning it. I think works. I think that looks really good. I think I'm much more excited about this game than I even expected to be after I saw kind of how mechanically dense it appears to be. We don't know who made this game yet.
Wait, we won't.
But to maybe to Nikki's point though, like did some of the Mario team make this game? Like
I think it.
It's like
I do think it has to be EPD1, which is
yeah.
Is that or is EPD3 the Mario team? Mario Nintendo Studios. Time to look it up.
Yeah, shit.
EPD. Do. Okay, EPD. What?
Yeah, no, this is one is not them.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, why does it fucking say... Why did it start with 2?
I wish we knew stuff about video games.
Nintendo... Who made Mario Odyssey? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. Okay, wait. No, we're going to get to the fucking bottom of it. EPD3 is Zelda.
Yeah.
In 2023, they did a reorg. There is no longer EPD1. What? Who gives a shit? Whatever. It's the fucking Mario team. It has to be. They either spun up a different team or they just got the Mario team to come over. But I refuse to believe.
It's just. No, go ahead.
I just refuse to believe that you're not putting your A team on the first 3D platformer that you put out on the machine, which is why I think it's the Mario
Production Group 8 is the EPD Tokyo, and that's who makes the Super Mario games,
so it's
the 3D
8
ones. So we think it's 8. Well, I think it's probably 8, maybe in conjunction with maybe some of the Splatoon team. Like this feels, dude. I don't know if they mix and match, but this feels like a mix and match to me. But it may not.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't matter. This game looks great.
Knows?
This game looks very good.
Yeah, it'll come out. I'm excited about it. I'm excited mostly, I think, about the music. I'm wondering how it is the pacing of the direct was the most Disney I think they've ever been.
Yes.
And I actually really don't mean that in either direction as like a positive or a negative. But the thing I walked away from it was, wow, this feels Disney.
Right. Yep.
Like, totally. Wow, this feels like a Pixar, like peak Pixar, what they want their things to feel like.
Yeah.
So I think like your tolerance for that actually is not you specifically, John, but like the listener's tolerance for that is going to actually be important here, because I think it is going to be more of that than I think people are perhaps expecting. If you thought the Jump Up Superstar section was corny, I have bad news for you, I think is how I would frame it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out next month. Like a month from yesterday, right?
July 17th, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, a month from 2 days ago. Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, it's
that'll be nice.
Very excited.
Did you know that the amiibo cost $30?
I did. Yeah.
I didn't because it was Street Fighter and I don't care about Street Fighter. That didn't affect me. But then I was like, maybe I'll get one of these plastic fucks. I buy one every 8 years.
Not a 30, dog. No way.
No, not at $30. I'll just steal the QR information or the RFID information like I did the last ones. So allegedly.
Yep. Allegedly.
So good job on that one.
Good job, everyone. Goofy. $30 too much. Hey, let's talk about what we've been playing. Niki, you've been playing Deltarune and FBC Firebreak. I want to hear about both of these.
Okay. I'll talk about Firebreak first.
Sure.
I talked really, I think, highly of it last week on the program. That game is fine. I think it's one of those situations where they loaded us up with the good guns.
Yes.
In the demo.
Yes.
And then I had to do the mission, the Post-it notes mission yesterday with the bad guns.
The bad guns, yeah.
And it took Jesse, Michael, and I what felt like 30 years to shoot all these fucking Post-it notes. It was a slog. It was not. It did not feel good. It was not fun. But then we did a different mission, and then it was okay. It feels poorly paced. A lot of the tasks that they have you do, because you are running through the same level at least 3 times.
Yeah.
You do the level, you do the first mission, which is a truncated one, and then you do the second mission on the same level, which is the first part plus a second part, and then the third time you do it is the first part plus the second part plus a new part. So it's like you're running through these things on paper chase, which is the post-it note level. That was a slog because the core thing that you were doing was shooting these objects on the ground with guns that are not conducive for destroying multiple objects at the same time.
Yeah.
But then the third mission in the game is like you run around in these caves and you have to shoot these eggs to get orbs. You pick up the orb and the orb has radiation on it, and you have to run to a cart. You put the orb in a cart, and then the first part of the mission is just that. Then the second part of the mission is the cart starts to move. You follow the cart, and the third part of the mission is the cart goes all the way through the mine, and then you have to come back.
Sure.
That felt a little better because there were, of course, things to do.
Yeah.
I think it is kind of a UI UX nightmare. Like it is the menus in that game are really tough, and it's from like an illogical, and I think that might just be Remedy, because I would actually ascribe the same thing to
they have some issues
Alan
with
Wake
that.
2 and Control as well. Where you're kind of like rifling through these menus and you're like, why is it like this?
Mm-hmm.
For example, the menu where there's the perk tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a screen of your perks. You cannot equip perks from the screen where all the perks are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go out of the screen where you unlock the perks to then go into your loadout to then equip the perks. In that screen, you can't unlock perks either. So you have to go out to the other perk screen to then unlock the perk to then go back.
And then come back. Mm-hmm.
When you like, and that just doesn't really make
it just feels like a thing that was brought up. It should have been brought up in the first meeting of like,
yes,
oh, why can't we just
like that kind of sucks,
you
right?
know? Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The way that the unlock tree works.
Mm-hmm.
You have to unlock shit that you aren't going to use before you can unlock stuff that you want to use because of the way that the pages are organized. So before you can for some reason, it is a horde. If you don't know what this game is, it is a 3-person Left 4 Dead style horde based, objective based. You run around, you do a task, a bunch of guys show up, you shoot the guys, you do the objective, you go to a different room, a bunch of guys show up, you do the objective, blah, 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 rinse and repeat. The first unlockable gun, John, on the first page is a single shot bolt action sniper rifle.
Okay.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? To unlock a better gun, a better assault rifle, you have to unlock all of the things on the first page, which include that sniper rifle you're never going to use. And then there's a revolver on the second page that you also have to unlock.
God.
And then you get to the third page where you can finally upgrade the SMG for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that stuff is obviously fixable, right? Like if I don't think this game has gotten the reception that they were kind of expecting. Mm-hmm. And this stuff is easy to fix. Like you literally just move around the upgrade path, like the unlock tree. Like you can do that without much effort, and then whatever.
Correct. I agree.
But also, crazy it shipped like that. Because the idea that no one was like, does it make sense to have one of the first guns you unlock in this video game be a single shot bolt action sniper rifle? And nobody said, nah, probably not.
Yeah.
Is kind of nuts. We should play it this weekend, John.
We should.
It has
I'll be around.
It has crossplay. So we should hop in, because I do think like the control parts of it
are fun.
The parts where you're like, damn, I can't
Control
wait for the
was
video game
good.
Control 2. Like, yeah, Control was good. These spaces, this game is, I think, made it Unreal. I don't think it's in there in that same engine.
I think
but
you're
like,
right. Yeah.
The spaces feel really good. Like the oldest house is a great video game
setting.
Mm-hmm. So when you're running around in the spaces, it's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Feels great.
I do like Control.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think we should play it, but I don't know how long that. Again, they've released a long service game where on day 3, the question is how long's the tail on this one? And that's probably bad.
Probably bad.
But I don't know how much Remedy spent on this one anyway.
Yeah. No.
Not from a like
may not be
conspiratorial perspective, but like I think they got fat checks from Sony and Microsoft on this one because it's in Game Pass and PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, they got.
So I don't think they're in for it.
We are aware based on the news that they were in a maybe cash poor situation and got some big checks for this thing. So yeah. You've also been playing Deltarune. Chapters 3 and 4 of Deltarune are now out. Does that mean that the package is complete? That this game is done? I didn't think so. So there still is more to play of this game.
So I think. Okay, John, what do you know about the video game Deltarune?
Very little. It's a riff on.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a riff on Undertale. It's.
Did you play Undertale?
I played Undertale. Yeah.
Okay. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. That's as much as you have to say, because I think if anybody says anything more than I liked or did not like the video game, then I think you're inviting.
I know
like that's a pox upon your home.
That's why I gave you that answer.
Pox, I gotta put Poxel on here.
Hey, you play Poxel?
Yeah.
Poxel.
Okay. I liked Undertale. And then the people who also like Undertale are, in Diego's words, the most annoying people you know.
They are. Yeah, 100%.
That's not what he said about Undertale. He said that about a different video game.
He said
you
that
can
about
go read it about Mixtape. You can go read that article on VGBs.com. I really liked Undertale. Like, I really, really liked Undertale.
Yeah.
But everything around Undertale was off-putting to me. So I said, well, I guess I'm done. Then I saw that Deltarune was coming out. And I'm illiterate, John. I didn't realize that it is just the word under. It's just an anagram.
Yeah.
So I didn't. That like went straight over my fucking head. And then I was like, it's cool that Toby's making another game. Not for me though, ain't it? And then I heard that it was someone was I was somewhere, and someone was like, "Have you played this?" And I said, "No, I don't know what it is." And they were like, "Oh, it's just more Undertale." And I was like, "What does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's more Undertale?" It's just more Undertale. It's a prequel to Undertale, but it is much more mechanically diverse than Undertale is. The end of Undertale, like, there are 3 other video games in there.
Yes.
The way that these chapters work is that each one of the chapters is a little different video game through the lens of a turn-based action game.
That makes sense.
The gimmick for the second one is that you play, for episode 2, is that you play Punch-Out for a while.
Great.
The last boss fight is just you do Punch-Out. Like, you do turn-based combat, and then there's a Punch-Out phase. It's
amazing.
Delightful.
Sure.
And it is, again, just more Undertale. So if you liked that one, you're gonna like Deltarune. And there are, I think, 7 episodes. And again, now we're in the spot where I'm like, okay, I've liked the game. I can't do any research about it. I can't look at it anymore. I made the mistake of typing in, because there's a song in episode 3 that has been stuck in my head. So I made the mistake of putting it into YouTube and to look for it. And now every third recommended video, it has been a day. Every third recommended video is just the most unbelievably talented, the most insane fan art, 3D, 2D animations of, and I'm like, I do not care.
Yeah.
Which
is, and look, I can't say anything else about this. That's the homestuck of it all. Like, this was,
exactly.
This is the exact fandom that latched onto Homestuck.
Yeah.
Toby Fox did a ton of music for them, so he's been kind of like, along on this ride the whole time. And those fans have been doing that kind of shit forever, which is bonkers.
Great for
but
them.
also, I can't dip my toe into that hot tub.
I can't.
I just can't.
I simply
even
cannot.
Do it. I see it and I go, that looks like a nice hot tub for all of you.
For you.
That looks like a great hot tub for all of you.
And you know what I do? I do appreciate hot tubs.
I love hot tubs.
I love a hot tub.
But that's a great hot tub for you.
And I'll appreciate it, but I'm not getting in. And that's basically how I feel about this. And you will literally never hear me talk about this video game until I put it in my end of the year list. That's it. That's my promise to you at home, is that I'm not going to talk anymore about this game other than I like it and the music is good. And it has made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah, not surprising. Great.
Yep. You ever heard of Poxel?
No.
John, open Discord.
Okay.
Okay.
You told me about this. Yes.
You're in Discord, right?
Yeah, I'm in Discord.
So Poxel is one of the games, is one of the Discord activities.
Oh, it's one of the Discord activities that you can play.
And it's just a first-person shooter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it looks, almost all of the maps are Minecraft, which doesn't really make any sense.
Because they're made out of voxels.
Yeah, Poxel. It isn't good, but I did stay up way too late earlier this week playing it.
Amazing.
And I had a blast.
Great.
It's unbelievably poorly balanced because it's made by people who've never made a video game before. The op just kills you regardless of where you get hit. Sometimes it just doesn't. And then you're like, oh, okay. The game doesn't support kill trading. So you can hit another person, but if that bullet goes in you first, your bullet goes away. So they don't die.
That's amazing. God.
It is.
That's a feature that would be in like a modern FPS. It's like, guess what? You get there first, you're good. Because the bullet that was gonna hit you disappears.
Yeah, disappears.
That's so funny.
The public lobbies are rife with modders. Jesse and I joined a lobby earlier this week where a child was running around flying in the sky just dropping explosives. You couldn't run 2 feet without being killed by an explosion. So we were playing in private lobbies. Video games are back.
Yeah, they're back.
And Poxel is at the forefront of the return.
Poxel, maybe, you know what, Bungie? Maybe think
just
about
make a Poxel.
Just make Poxel.
And like, I'm so desperate to know how much money, because there's obviously a battle pass, there's microtransactions up the ass.
Ugh.
I am desperate to know what their revenue is like.
Me too. Yeah.
Did they pay to get into Discord? Or did Discord pay them?
Them?
Probably Discord paid them, right?
Probably.
That's crazy.
Probably. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then their Discord, I'm sure, is taking 20% off of every microtransaction. But then, like, if every single person who has Discord has access to this, nobody's using it because nobody uses the Discord activities because they're a fucking joke.
Because they're, yeah.
But, like...
But even a sliver of them.
Exactly.
Even if they did.
Even a tenth
like
of 1% of all of the people on Discord...
That must be the algebra then. I mean, it's like, that's fucking easy. That's fucking easy for them to go, let's write, I don't know, spitballing here. Let's write a 100K check. And then like, if we have a good week, we're good. That's it.
And
that's fine.
We gotta stop this, dude.
I know.
Because the bar is so fucking low for what a video game is anymore at this point.
I know.
And John, I do think we could probably, out of the Discord Corporation,
we could get
for a good idea.
Yeah.
$250,000 at least.
Yeah, I know.
I can't take it back.
No, you can't.
You've been playing Cyberpunk 2?
I have. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 on the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm not even devastated to announce. Pretty good way to play this video game.
I bet.
It feels good, looks good. I have not had to tinker with any of the settings in order to make it kind of run well like I did for the Steam Deck. I think on Steam Deck there's a lot more anti-aliasing and some weird visual glitches that I'm not really getting on the default version of the Switch 2 version. This is a very optimized port. And there are some cool accessibility features that they really were thinking about the Nintendo Switch hardware in order to make it a better handheld experience if you're playing it in that mode. So if you, for whatever reason, again, never played Cyberpunk 2077, and you're just a Nintendo person, I think this is maybe the best game you can get right now on Switch 2. That is a Switch 2 game.
Yes.
Obviously, if you've never played fucking Zelda or whatever, and this is your first Nintendo console, like go get those versions of the games, because like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild running in 60 FPS 4K like is absurd. Like it's totally insane.
I will say, and I think this is because I'm off of the computer much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
But especially in the last week and a half since the Switch came out.
Yeah.
But I have not. I was really expecting a shit ton of clips from Zelda.
Yeah.
On my timeline. This is plural. And I'm not seeing them. I don't really understand what's going on, because I really was like, oh, we're about to be in a situation where people are going to be like, I don't know, man, I'm just going to put Zelda on my fucking Game of the Year list again, because this game's good.
I think you're right that it is weird, but I also think we are having this conversation literally the day that I'm seeing that dam start to break. Which is apparently there is a bug where now you can share your blueprint plans with other people directly. So like if someone has like an insane build of something, you can just basically like zap it to them. It goes into the game and whatever. But apparently there's a bug where you can just do that for like objects you grab in the world. So people have been grabbing 6 dogs at once and just being able to conjure 6 dogs and drop them into the world wherever they are. And so like we're seeing those clips today as we're recording this. And it's very funny.
Great.
I don't know how fast it's going to take for them to fix it, because I have to imagine that's going to really break some games if that is allowed to continue. So my guess is it gets patched out. But for now, you can do that. So we're starting to see that. To your point, I am a little bit surprised, but I think as people understand the value and power of the shared blueprint stuff, that'll start to increase. I am a little surprised that we haven't seen more already, but like, I don't know, like maybe the zeitgeist of people who mod it and do crazy shit with it on PC is like larger than we expected, of people who like
or
watch
like
those videos or whatever. And it's like, maybe we haven't seen this before. I think from a gameplay perspective, it feels kind of revelatory. Like, oh wow, this game actually feels, as next gen and interesting as like it wanted to at the time.
Yeah, at the time. And it's also, I'm sure it's like, so many of the people who bought this thing are regular.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Is the other part of it.
Yeah.
Because I would say, statistically speaking, the number of people who I know in industry who did not get this weird iPad is higher than I was expecting it to be. Which isn't to say that there are none. But I was kind of expecting a higher attach rate than I think
what we've got.
It has been, at least in industry, which is fair. There's nothing fucking on it.
Yeah, totally.
There's nothing on it, and you can go buy one.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So it's interesting, but I do think Cyberpunk, if you've not taken the time to play this, or maybe you bounced off it way at the beginning,
where are
this game? This game is better than I'm. Past, I'm past like some of the early Johnny Silverhand stuff, so like I'm not that far.
Pre or post? So you have you gotten to Pan Am? Yes or no?
Not yet. I'm about.
You're about to. Okay. Yeah. Is Phantom Liberty in this package?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is all inclusive of everything that Cyberpunk has done with Phantom Liberty and all that stuff, and it is $70, and it is. It's got like Switch 2 specific kind of gyro controls and some other cool stuff that you can do, including some mouse controls. And it looks good. It looks like it's running on a PS5 if you could crank it down a setting. It's like I don't know how else to describe it, but it looks and runs well in a way that I think I was surprised by. And this game is much better than it was 5 years ago. I know you've heard that before, but it's like this is a game that still has some writing and some quest design issues, but you do see more of CD Projekt Red's Witcher 3 pedigree in this final version of the game than you certainly did when this game first came out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get it. I don't know.
I'm all right.
No, that's fine.
I think I'm good.
You've played a lot more of that game than I think most people have. Hey, let's go to Hive questions. If you want to ask us a Hive question, you go to vgbs.com/join. Join the Hive. You can go to our Hive section in our Discord and ask us questions every single week. Let's start by asking this question. Papa Bear Zach asks, which is more likely to have some butthead try to pitch a revival, Ouya or Quibi?
I think the Ouya.
Okay, so you think there is a better chance that someone will say we should put an Android in a little box and hook it up to your TV?
Yeah.
And his name is Tommy Tallarico, and he's doing it now.
Yes.
That's about right. Okay, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's correct. Okay. Craze asks, now that we have mouse controls, what PC game revival on Switch 2 will most freak out Nintendo fans?
Have you used those?
No, I haven't.
Me either.
I haven't.
When's that wheelchair basketball
Myst.
game coming out?
I'm gonna say Myst. I thought Niki, I dead ass thought that was a launch title.
I also
But
thought
it's
it was
not.
a launch title.
But it's
That
not,
feels
though.
like a fundamental misstep, no? Yeah, it's missed. I think like the second we start to get like honestly, like whoever owns the Humongous Entertainment suite, like why you weren't day and date is on you. Like, and honestly, the window's closing, I guess, but it's like there are people for whom they walk into the Best Buy and they see the new thing and then they grab 3 other things for their stupid kid. Like, I really don't understand why there aren't more point and click ports on this thing, but I'm sure they'll come.
They'll come. Yeah, I mean, because like the Ribbon remaster thing that they just did, like it would look great on Switch 2. You can do a little point and click. Yeah, whatever. Beer Dragoon asks, if you had to eat at a restaurant owned and operated by the party members of a video game, which would you choose? You cannot choose games that are specifically food related.
Okay. So they have to be not annoying.
Sure.
Well, sorry, is it to have dinner with or run a restaurant?
I think it's like to go to the restaurant that is run by them.
Go to the restaurant run, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Who do I trust with food
So it's
safety?
a bear situation where like, you know, someone's at the front of the house, someone's at the back of the house, or the chefs. Yeah.
Oh, do you have an answer for this one?
I do. It's Final Fantasy IX. I'm cheating a little bit because Quina is a chef in the game, but you don't really get to interact with that much at all. So like, you know, they would cook, but like you would also have, VB front of the house. Maybe Amarant is like a bouncer because he's huge and just this, whatever. I can imagine like Aiko being like a annoying server that everyone wishes that they don't get. So I like the idea of Final Fantasy IX. I like those people going to that restaurant. I bet it'd be good, and also like it'd be cute enough that I'd want to stick around. And the decor would be great.
I think like I would love to see the Persona children try to run a restaurant. Like try to do the bear, like not like just a cafe where it's like put the coffee in the cup,
right?
Like actually try to go back there and do cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It would be bad, and I'd get sick.
Yeah,
but I think it would be fun in there.
It'd probably be fun in there. I can see that. I could totally see that. Bitmap Books is publishing 50. This is Chihuahua Pugs. Thanks, Chihuahua Pugs. Bitmap Books is publishing 50 indie games that change the world. If you could write an entry for the book, which indie game would you pick?
Damn. So do you think Jordan's gonna cut that part out, or do you think he's gonna leave
The
it?
silence, probably.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna leave? He's gonna leave it. I really hope he leaves it in.
119.
I really hope. I really hope he leaves it in.
I'll write it down. I doubt he's gonna do anything.
There are two goofy answers, and that came to my head, which means I think I should do it. It's Destiny or Fortnite.
Okay. Very funny answers.
You know?
Yeah.
Destiny, I actually think is probably a good answer, because it is representative of like three things. It's representative of the birth of the idea of like of live service for console. It is representative of the death of the word indie, because they were an independent studio but being bankrolled by a AAA game publisher.
Correct.
But still had the air of Activision's not making this video game, you know?
Yep.
And C, it has had such an unbelievable roller coaster of a life that I think that would just be an interesting section in a book.
Yeah.
Especially when put in relief to actual independent video games. Okay. So I actually think my answer is Destiny.
I think that's a good answer. I think I'd probably say like Cave Story. That's like an easy one, but it's like that was really the first indie game that I think a lot of people had a ton of early exposure to in a weird window in the 2000s, 2010s, where it's like, oh, like what? Like some random some like random dude or whatever the fuck like made this game and we could just play it. And first came out in 2004 or 5, I want to say 4. And I think that was a lot of people's first exposure to this idea that you could just be a dude or a small group and just do something and be fairly swashbuckling about it, and also come up with something that feels and looks really inventive and great. So I'd probably pick Cave Story. Biased because I also really liked that game when I played it for the first time. So that would be my answer. We've got
John.
What's up?
Why did they not make Johann Sebastian Joust?
Ooh.
But for phone?
But for phone? I don't know. I don't know.
Huh?
That seems so easy, huh?
Just hold phone instead.
Uh-huh. Let's hold phone. Or on Switch.
What the fuck? Like,
I know.
This is what I'm.
What are we doing?
What I'm saying.
I know.
Like,
I know. It's too easy.
I shouldn't be having like an all-time bad week at 6:03 p.m. I'm having video game ideas that would sell like
I know
65,000 copies.
I know. We got one more question. This is from Bone Chug Actual. We have some leftovers I may grab in a bonus this weekend. But how can we reconcile Xbox's strategy of everything as an Xbox with them also investing however heavily into a new console? Is it as simple as they are Microsoft and can withstand losses if one eats the other?
Oh, I think it's just when you define your thing as nothing, then anything can be the thing.
Yeah, I think your mistake, Bone Chug Actual, it's not a mistake.
You fool.
It's not a mistake. I don't actually mean that. But I think your mistake is using the word reconcile, because I don't think they do reconcile it. I think they just like, I think we get quote unquote paid to sit here and kind of 4D. Why did I say that? It's just like it's so mean, but like for who? Who is it mean to? It's mean to like I don't know.
Oh man,
it is funny that I reflexively finger quoted that. It is pretty funny.
That's funny.
Fuck. Listen, we sit here for fun and we could basically say
we could be rich whenever we want, you know.
We could be that's the point of this story. but to that point, Bone Chug Actual, I think like we could 4D chess it, and I think at times I have in the past been like, well, where are they going? Like Phil's got some like pretty heady ideas about blah blah, and now I'm just like, they don't have a plan really. They're just gonna keep throwing money at shit and going, did that do it? Are we the winners now? Like, I don't think they really have any sort of
it's plan. The equivalent of going to the horse track and putting 20 on everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Is what Microsoft
That's what they're doing.
Is doing.
Yeah.
So like 100%. Yes, some of it will win.
Some of it will work.
Because by nature, if you're doing all of it, which is the point that I was making earlier, like, oh, yeah, you can go. She's like completely learned how to open this door.
Oh.
But every time she does it, she looks at me and is like, "Is it okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can go." But like that time, I think I called her out too on
soon.
Point with it, and now she got like, sad and left.
Forget it.
No, that's why it's like, yeah, if one of their 9 strategies was we'll buy every studio on the planet,
right,
10 years ago, and now the video games are coming out. So yes, they are winning. They are selling more video games on the PlayStation than PlayStation is selling.
Yep.
Okay, but then also the other part of their business, which is sell box to play video game on. No, that part's dying, not dead, right? So then they have to redefine what the box is. So it's just a constant, like, it's a constant cycle of if we change what the words are, then we can't lose.
It doesn't matter that
on every horse.
Listen, it doesn't fucking matter. The hardware doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
However, here's a piece of hardware that we're coming out with.
Yes, it absolutely. But
like, and every 10 minutes they do this essentially. Yeah. They go, everything is an Xbox. However, we'd love it if you'd buy this one.
They're gonna have like 26 is, I'm sure, going to be a weird year for them. That Halo is going to come out, Fable is going to come out, and then I think there's going to be a lull for them. And then they're going to say, actually, well, the software doesn't matter. If you look at our library, what we actually want you to do is to subscribe to Game Pass, because we have this huge library of pre-existing titles that you really can access at any given time. And now that we have a handheld, you can access them on the go. Like that's all it is. It's just like they have set up excuses for themselves as to why one part of the 2-part business is not working.
They have an explanation for why every single path of the dominoes might fall. Yeah. And it always feels like they're just going to come out with, it's like, oh no, like this was the plan all along. And really the plan seems to be just very nebulous and, do whatever.
Which is fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I kind of wish Phil had not spent years kind of acting, and maybe this is our fault, the royal we of games media of kind of being like, he's got a plan. It's like, but I don't know if he does.
I would wager that he did pre-pandemic.
Yeah, and now it's kind of blown up
I would actually wager that he really did have a plan pre-pandemic. The pandemic happened, and then
shit hit the fan.
Like shit hit the fan for them specifically badly.
Yep.
That they're like, when the bottom fell out, the bottom quote unquote fell out quote unquote, and nobody's spending money on video games anymore, quote unquote,
right. Quote unquote,
fell out after the pandemic. It hit them harder.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot, and then we can leave. I've just been thinking a lot about, there's this commercial that Ford is running during the finals, where they're like, damn, you ever heard of American cars? We've been American the whole time, actually. And we never took any money from the government, which isn't true. But like, they're like, we didn't take any money from the government. And I'm the analog of that kind of like posturing, being like, oh yeah, we were definitely on death's door, but now everything is fine. It's like, well, no, gang, like, Is everything okay?
Is everything fine? Yeah.
Is everything fine for you, or do you just want me to believe that everything is fine for you? because that's what it really it feels like.
Because
it feels like the steel from your car comes from Mexico and not America, and that doesn't really solve the problem of your car being made out of steel.
No.
And for Microsoft, it seems like your video games are made to run on boxes that you don't make or sell anymore.
Right.
So how are you gonna make money?
Yeah.
On it.
I don't get it. But they do.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
They totally get it.
Satya and Phil sit down and have a 6-hour meeting every single day. where they just hash out. And a lot of the time, honestly, it's pretty masturbatory, not like literally, but it's just them congratulating themselves on how good they have it.
Yeah.
And how locked down the plan is.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll call Herman Holst, and sometimes they call Sean Layden. He doesn't even work there anymore. They call him.
Work there.
And they say, "Don't we have it so made? Aren't things so good for us?" And they all say yes.
Yeah. Another day here at Microsoft. Hey, listen, we have no new reviews, but if you want to leave us a 5-star review, you can have it read right on the show. So leave us a 5-star review, write some good words. I'll read it on the show. Thank you so much for joining the Hive, folks. VGBs.com/join once again. You can go to makeyouthink.club to get Niki's newsletter. It's amazing.
It's coming back this week.
It's coming back this week. Thank goodness. I love it. You will too. I believe it. I believe you will love it. You should get it. Niki, you have anything else to plug?
Nah, I don't do anything.
No? Okay. I don't really. I don't. Listen, if you are excited about All in Texas, that is an event that Niki and I are going to next month here in the great state of Texas. Be thinking about what you want to see from us that week in terms of wrestling content. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. I think we're mostly just going to be going and seeing the show and eating good barbecue, but we might do something. Nice. Who knows? But yeah, be thinking about that. If you got wrestling questions, AEW's been on a fucking heater. Like for the past
that show yesterday was
3 months.
Fun.
It was so good. If you didn't see the Mexico 2.5-hour special on Dynamite, it was so good. The crowd was so amazing. Really great matches. I
learned a lot about CMLL yesterday.
Yeah, about CMLL.
I didn't realize that building was just there. That's just where they do it. They don't go anywhere. They just do it in there. That's
WWE sick. Can't go in there. They can't get in there.
That's cool as hell.
Pretty cool. So AW is on a heater. We'll be covering that and going to that and having a good time out in the July heat. Hopefully they close the fucking roof. I don't know what they're going to do. They got to close the roof. They're not going to sit there in 100-degree heat. There's no way.
They can't.
But yeah, that'll be fun. All right. We will be back next week with a brand new episode of the VGB's podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening this week and every week. Oh, I went to that too quickly, but folks, keep on buzzing. Bye.